In this video, we're going to review how to add and subtract mixed numbers. We're going to add 2 1/6 plus 4 2/3. Our first step is to turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. And the way to do that is to multiply the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. So for 2 1/6, we would multiply 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 1, which is 13, and our improper fraction is 13, and we keep our denominator, so it'll be 13 over 6. Now we'll convert 4 2/3 into an improper fraction. So once again, it'll be the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. We keep the denominator, so 14 over 3 is our improper fraction. So we're going to add 13 over 6 plus 14 over 3. These denominators are different, so we're going to have to find a common denominator. So I'm going to set them up like this and use this formula. The least common multiple for 6 and 3 is 6. So I'm going to set my formula up like this again, just like I did in the previous video. And I know that 3 times 2 equals 6, so I have to put a 2 for the numerator also. And 14 times 2 equals 28. So my equivalent fraction for 14/3 is 28/6. Since 6 is my common denominator, I don't have to change 13/6 at all. I can go ahead and leave it the same. I don't need an equivalent fraction. So I can set it up like this: 13 over 6 plus 28 over 6. And I just add my numerator straight across. So 13 plus 28 equals 41. And I keep my denominator, which is 6. So 13/6 plus 28/6 equals 41 over 6. But I can't leave it like this because 41 over 6 is an improper fraction. If you look at fractions like this, fractions are no more than a division problem. So it's really just 41 divided by 6. So I'm going to set this up like a division problem. So now I have the division problem of 41 divided by 6. 6 won't go into 4, so I have to divide 41 divided by 6. 6 will go into 41 6 times, and 6 times 6 is 36. And 41 minus 36 is 5. So now pay attention to this trick. We have the whole number of 6 in purple, and I have a remainder of 5. So I'm going to turn that 5 into a fraction. I draw a line under it. I bring that orange 6, which I divided by, which was my original denominator, and I put it below the 5 as the denominator still, and I have 6 and 5/6. So 2 1/6 plus 4 2/3 equals 6 and 5/6. Now we're going to subtract mixed numbers. We'll start with 3 3/4 minus 1 7/8. Just like before, we need to turn our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we'll multiply the denominator by the whole number and add the numerator. So we'll start with 3 3/4. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus 3 is 15, and we'll keep the denominator of 4. So 15/4 is the equivalent fraction for 3 3/4. 1 7/8, we take the denominator of 8 times the whole number 1, which is still 8, and then we add the numerator, which is 7. 8 plus 7 is 15, so this converts to 15/8. So since our denominators are not like, or they're not common, we need to find the least common multiple of 4 and 8, and we know that that is 8. So we can leave 15/8 alone because it already has a denominator of 8. So we need to convert 15/4 into an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 8. So we know that 4 times 2 equals 8, so we multiply the denominators 4 times 2. And if we multiply the bottom by 2, we have to multiply the top or the numerator by 2 as well. So 15 times 2 equals 30. So now we have the equivalent fraction of 30/8. So now we can move this down to the bottom. We have 30/8 minus 15/8. We're just going to subtract the numerators, 30 minus 15, and that equals 15. And we're going to keep the denominator of 8. So 30 over 8 minus 15 over 8 equals 15/8. So 3 3/4 minus 1 7/8 equals 15/8. But that's an improper fraction, so we need to simplify it. Remember that I told you before that a fraction is the same thing as a division problem, 15 divided by 8. So we're going to set that up as a division problem, 15 divided by 8. 8 won't go into 5, but it will go into 15. It goes in there one time, and 1 times 8 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. So now remember the trick that we had before. We have the whole number of 1, and we have a remainder of 7. So we're going to use that 7 as our numerator, bring the 8 down, and it's going to stay the denominator like it was before. So now we have a fraction of 7/8 that we're going to add to our whole number of 1, and our answer is 1 7/8. So our final answer of 3 3/4 minus 1 7/8 equals 1 7/8.